Welcome to my ambitious fall TBR. Fall is my favorite. I feel like most book girlies love fall. Um, and for somebody who at the most reads about 15 books a month, this is a lot. And I know that it's a lot. And I know that there's no chance I will ever be able to read all of this in the next 3 months, but I don't really care. And yes, it is still 100 and something degrees here in Texas because this is the end of August. But I don't really care. A girl can dream, a girl can hope, a girl can manifest a good fall. Hi, buddy. You want up here? Come on. My cat is down there, so if he starts messing with things or the angle changes or you wobble, it's because he's down there. Um, yeah, as I was saying, it's still really hot outside, but I am hoping, dreaming, praying for a lovely fall. I would like to start off with books that were on my August TBR that I might not get to. And first off, we have this is The Counselors by Jessica Goodman, again, set at a summer camp. And I haven't really heard anybody talk about this, and I haven't heard anything about this author. So it, I'm excited to give it a chance. I just saw it at Barnes one day and bought it. Next, this is not fall, but I will be reading Daisy Hates the Great Undoing in September. I'm currently reading Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home, and I'm a Daisy girl, so I'm so excited for this. Again, not fall at all. Um, Next, if I don't read My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix, I need to read it. I need to read it in the fall. Like I'm so excited and scared for this, but I need to just do it. So next, I have Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This is about a family. A daughter basically sets her house on fire and then is missing. I I started it. I got 72 pages into it, and it's fine. I loved Everything I Never Told You by this author. I read that years ago. Really enjoyed it, but this just isn't catching me as much as that one did right off the bat. And I don't know what the difference is because it's this one and that one are both kind of slower moving character studies of family dynamics and um, communities and things like that. So I think I just need to sit down and try again with this one because I think it could be something I really enjoy. And then lastly, this one wasn't necessarily on my TBR, but my coworker and I were talking about it. She let me borrow it, but it's Delirium by Lauren Oliver. I don't really know anything about this book other than I believe it's a dystopian. Let me see. The back doesn't tell me anything. So yeah, but I want to say she said that it was dystopian and it reminds her of like all of the other 2010 to 2015 dystopian novels that were coming out at that time. So I'm excited to give it a try because I loved all of those. Next, I would like to talk about series that I would like to reread. And those are going to be the Twilight series and the Hunger Games series, which are on my shelves, and I don't feel like getting them. But just know I have them all. So excited. I would like to reread the Hunger Games trilogy and then read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes because I've never read that. I think that would be cool. I might want to reread Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton. I read this years ago and I wanted to continue with the series, but I have forgotten every single thing I read from that book. And it was a really good book. Like it's nothing to do with the writing, the plot, the characters, none of that. Just my brain. My brain just. I do reread Bangs by Sarah Anderson every single year. This is a beautiful graphic novel about a werewolf and a vampire, and it is just absolutely adorable. Like, it's a fun art style. It's so good. I love it. And then there are some books like on my Kindle or that are audiobooks or I'll have to get from my library that I'm not going to hold up physically or maybe even show pictures, but there's a long list of things on my Kindle and at my library that I will be trying to read in the fall. But this next section is going to be all of the books that I own that I would like to try to get to in the fall. So it's going to be fun. It's not broken up by genre or anything. It's literally by author last name, I think is what I did, but it's just on my TBR card. So first up, I Win in Rome by Sarah Adams. This book has been on my TBR for forever. I just keep putting it off because even though it's so short, I'm scared there's so much hype and love for this book and its counterpart, and I'm scared I'm not gonna like it. Nothing to base that on. I love small town romances. I love forced proximity. I love a good pop star actor moment. Love all of those things. That's all that's in here. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm just terrified, but hopefully I get to it. And then I have Simon versus the Homo sapien Agenda by Becky Albertalli. This book has been on my TBR probably one of the books that's been on my TBR the longest. And it's about a boy who is gay and he gets outed or is blackmailed. I think he's blackmailed. Maybe I don't know anything. But it's about a boy who's finding his way and trying to understand his journey through figuring out his sexuality. And it's supposed to be really, really good. I'm excited to read it. It's won awards. It has a TV show, or is it a movie? Isn't Jennifer Garner in it? Either way, I would love to watch whatever was made as an adaptation for this. Next, I have Bunny by Mona Awad. I want to say this is like a dark academia psychological horror kind of thing. And I'm very here for it. I know that this got a lot of praise years ago. I know Chloe Bunny loves it. I know Kayla from Books and Lala loves it. I know so many people just absolutely adore this. So I am excited to get to it. It's something that I've never read anything like it, so we'll see how it goes. And then I have Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. This is a cozy fantasy which I've never read. The text in this is huge, which I did not realize, which is awesome. So it'll be fun, super fun. Okay, I'm embarrassed by how many TBRs this has been on, and I still haven't read it. I I really liked the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I thought it was pretty good. Um, and I've always been more intrigued by the Six of Crows duology than I even liked that series. But I'm so scared. I'm so scared that I've hyped it up too much in my head and I'm not gonna like it. But I really love Lee Bardugo's writing. I think she does a really good job of building worlds, character development. I think she does a good job of all of that. And I need to read this. Then I have The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the sequel to the Inheritance games. And I loved the Inheritance games. Like, I was absolutely changed by that book. It was so good. Um, I even started this book and got 72 pages into it. What is it with me starting books and getting 72 pages in and then just forgetting. Um, yes, we're following Avery and the aftermath of her inheritance and everything that followed because it was a crazy wild ride. But I'm very excited to get more from this world, more information on the characters, and just see how it all plays out. And then I have Serious Moonlight by Jen Bennett. I don't really know anything about this. I know that it is a YA romance. And I know that I have read from Jen Bennett before, and I really enjoyed what I read. I read Alex Approximately a few months ago, and that one's more of like a summery romance, and this one just gives me fall vibes. Like, look, they're in a coffee shop and they're in a flannel and a nice little hat. Like, I just vibes give me gives me fall vibes. Um, there's even a book on the cover. That's so cute. Okay. Um, but yeah, I don't know anything about this book. I don't really want to. I don't really need to. I like Jen Bennett. I want to read more from her, and so I'm excited to get to this. Next, I have Business Casual by BK Borson. This is the last in the Love Light Farm series. I'm very excited for this one. It's not wait, and the cover is stunning. Those flowers are gorgeous. I want them in my wedding. And then I have The Diviners by Liva Bray. I know this series has been like spoken about by a lot of booktubers, but I believe I saw Haley in Bookland talking about it years ago, and I was interested because obviously I am heavily influenced by her. Um, but I just never picked it up. It's 1920s. It's the occult. It's New York City. Like, it's gonna be everything I love. But again, it just intimidates me. I don't know why. Next, I thought I'd throw a classic in there, and this is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I've I've read one other Agatha Christie years and years and years ago. My grandmother loved Agatha Christie, so I've always wanted to read more of her works. And I know that Meg loves Agatha Christie, and I trust Meg. So I think this could be a good time. I don't really know anything about it. I think, and then this is one of the books that I have out from the library. This is Do Your Worst by Rosie Danon. I read her roommate, the roommate and intimacy experiment. I read both of those books, and I want to try more from her. Um, and this is about so sparks fly when an occult expert and a disgraced archaeologist become enemies with benefits in this steamy romance from go-to author Rosie Danon. That sounds like so much fun. Okay, I'm so excited for this. My interest has been repeat. I have Sweet Bitter by Stephanie Danler. I couldn't remember her name. This is kind of like a messy young 20s story. So it's about this girl who works in the service industry, and she's kind of just trying to navigate life while being a messy person, basically, is what I get from it. And I've seen two people talk about this book, maybe three. Um, Emma from Drinking by My Shelf, who no longer makes videos, unfortunately, but she was very entertaining and a good time when she was. And then Jamie from Jamie's Library, love her. Both of them really loved it, and I'm excited to get to it. I don't know why this feels like the time to get to it, but it feels like it is. Maybe it's the wine on the cover. Next is Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I've never read anything from Stephanie Garber before, but I am so excited to get into this world. I think I'm going to love circus fantasy. I have nothing to base that on. I think the vibes of a circus, like anytime you see it in shows or movies, I think it's crazy how like cool everything ends up looking. And yeah, I'm just excited to get into this. Of course, there's nothing on the back to tell me what this is about, which is totally fine. Um, but I do believe it's about two sisters, and one of them goes missing, and the other tries to find her, and ends up in a circus. And then I think that's all I know. But yeah. And then I have One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, another book I have out from the library. This one, again, know nothing about. Totally okay not knowing anything. I just know that it is a fantasy romance duology, I believe. Um, and there's something to do with tarot cards in this, if I'm not mistaken. I think it'll be a really fun time. So I have The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I have started this book and put it down, forgotten about it. But I love the movie The Princess Bride so much. One of my favorites. And I think that if I tried again, I would really like this book. The sticker is not coming on. But the story of The Princess Bride is one that gives you so many things. There's fantasy, there's romance, there's duels, there's pirates, there's poisoning, there's giants. Like, there's so many things. And I can't wait. I think it's going to be a fun time. I wonder if there's any differences between the book and the movie. I'm sure there are. There always are. And then I have You Again by Kate Goldbeck. This cover screams fall, which is just stunning. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not just being like blinded by the cover, this is a When Harry Met Sally retelling of some sort. And basically, they don't like each other at first, and then they become friends, and then they fall in love. I think. Love that. I have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is a chunky, sad book. It's a World War II historical fiction. This is my mom's favorite book of all time, so I can't wait to read it and see if I agree with her, because I think I will. I think it's going to make me cry. My friend and coworker Haley, we're going to be buddy reading this pretty slowly, I would say, from September through November. I think we need to nail down those plans, but I'm so excited to get to this. I read Lovely War last month and absolutely loved it. It destroyed me, put me in a reading coma. Um, Reading coma? Am I okay? A reading hangover. Like, I didn't want to pick anything else up because I knew it wouldn't match up to it. But I don't really care now. I'm good now. This is gonna ruin me, but that's okay. And then I have Stoneblind by Natalie Hayes. This is a Medusa retelling or story. I don't know if it's a retelling or not. I know almost nothing, but I love Medusa. And I say I love Greek mythology, but I don't really read Greek mythology. But I think I'm gonna love this, and yeah, I can't wait. Medusa is my favorite. And then I have Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is about Fitz, who is son of some, I don't know. But Reagan from Peruse Project raves about this book. So does Becca from Becca in the Books. I'm so excited. And then I have Ace of Spades by Farida Abiki Bike Iemedi. I butchered that and I apologize. This was very popular a few years ago. Yeah, I believe it's like dark academia vibes, but it's like if you like the inheritance games, you might like this kind of thing. So I'm hoping that'll be the case for me. This one, I've said I wanted to read this so many times, and I never have. This is We've Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I don't even really know anything about this. I just know that it is like classic fall vibes, and I want it. Isn't it like a haunted house? Yeah, big old house. Next, the only nonfiction on this list, I believe, is Hood Feminism by Miki Kendall. Mickey Kendall? Mickey. Probably Mickey, but I really don't know. This is about feminism, but intersectional feminism, and it brings in a lot of different um, ideas and issues that are often forgot about when speaking about women and feminism, and how a lot of times these issues are just glossed over. And then I have Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. This is very different vibe. This is about a girl who obviously studies abroad. Um, and I think it's like a new girl situation where she thinks she's talking to these girls about living together while she's there, and then she gets there and they're all men. She's like, whoa, okay. But I think it's gonna be good. I have read all of Elle Kennedy's Briar U, Off Campus, Campus Diaries. I've read all of those books, and I tried reading Good Girl I tried reading Good Girl Complex, and I DNF'd it. I hated it. I could not stand the characters. Um, but I don't think it's only hockey romance that I'm going to like from Elle. I think I will like this. I just need to actually read it. Next, I have Writers and Lovers by Lily King. Don't ask me what this is about. I don't know. I think this sentence is perfect. It says, written in King's trademark humor, heart, and intelligence, this is a transfixing novel that explores artistic passion, ambition, and the terrifying and exhilarating leap between the end of one phase of life and the beginning of another. I think that's I think this is going to be something I really enjoy. I just don't read literary fiction very often. And so anytime it pops up as something that I want to read, I just put it off because I'm scared of it, which is like half of these books. But then I have a book I picked up from Barnes on one of the like buy one get one 50% off tables. I've never heard of it, never seen anybody talk about it. And then I looked up the Goodreads reviews after I bought it. Um, I'm a little scared, but I like to make my own opinion, so it's gonna be fine. We have Pumpkin Spice and Everything Nice by Katie. I have never tried to say this. Icatelli Coop. I don't know. But this looks. It just seems like it's gonna be a cute little YA romance set in fall, which is great. And I've heard that it's very good for Gilmore Girls fans. It's very Gilmore Girls coded. And that's what they said about the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and they were right about that. So maybe I'll like this. Maybe. I'm hoping. Okay, I don't think this book is very fall, but I very much want to get to it sooner rather than later. This is Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. This is very much giving second chance romance. I'm so excited. I think this is going to be something that's right up my alley. Can't wait. Next, I have the Chronicles of Narnia. I would like to reread the Magician's Nephew, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and The Horse and His Boy, and then read Prince Caspian, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, The Silver Chair, and The Last Battle. I have had this for so long, and I never continued on. Yeah, I've had this for so long, and I've never continued on. Not because I wasn't interested, but because even though it's a bind up of all, what was that, 7, 8 stories, it's just a little intimidating. And I loved the movies. that came out for these books, and I'm excited for anything else that comes out for them. But I would like to reread those and then read the others during the winter time, or maybe just pick it up when I can. It doesn't necessarily mean that I feel like I need to read all of this during fall. I just would like to get to it. Um, Especially after I saw Chloe, Kevin, and Caitlin all read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and love the book itself and like giggling and kicking their feet, and it was so precious. So I think I just need to do it. This is hard to get out. Next, I have Monstrous. This is by Marjorie Liu and Santa Takeda. Takeda, I'm not sure how to say it, but this is a high fantasy graphic novel series that Stephanie from Stephanie's Bookverse has spoken very highly about. This art style is so cool. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so fun. Okay, um, I I don't know how easily this will be to understand for me, but I am so excited to give it a chance. It's going to be um, like a very steampunky time. It's gonna be great. The cards are Queen of Shadows and Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. I am terrified. I'm currently reading Airfire, and I can't wait to keep reading it. I'm just scared of everything that is going to happen or could happen or what characters were going to pop. I'm nervous. I know. I think one thing that's going to happen in the next four books, but that's it. And I'm so excited because normally I know all of the spoilers because I'm awful at looking things up and everything just, yeah. But I don't think that's going to be the case, except for that one major spoiler in Crown of Midnight. But that's okay. Okay. I have the last two books in the Throne of Glass series. I think I might potentially fandom read Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. I might. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, I haven't decided yet if I will or not. And then this behemoth terrifies terrifies me. So exciting. And then I have Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West by Gregory Maguire. But I've had this for a while and I haven't picked it up, really because I'm kind of scared. But is there a theme going? Am I just scared of all the books that I have? I think I am. Dude, he's fine. Then I have Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. It's going to be a fun start to a new series for me, and this cover is crazy and awesome. I don't know much about this. I believe it has something to do with the Princes of Hell. I think is Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. This is a book that my niece really wants me to read. She loves this series. This is a very long series. This first book for middle grade, this is kind of insane. This is 488 pages for a middle grade. Crazy. Um, I think this is about a girl who thinks she's human, but she is secretly like fae or something. I'm not entirely sure. But my niece loves this, and so I'm going to give it a chance, see how I feel about it. And then I have The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. This is, oh my God, stunning. Have I never looked at the back of this book before? This is gorgeous. I don't even know if this is doing it justice, but so pretty. Okay. Um, I'm pretty sure this is a dark academia witchy story. And again, Meg loved it, so I'll probably like it. And yeah, I'm excited to read this. Then I have Death Note Volume 1. This is the first in a pretty long manga series. Um, I don't even know anything about this series, but I've always wanted to give manga a try. And this was one of the ones that I always wanted to start with. And I believe it is about, yeah, it's about a student. I don't really want to know anything. I don't know why I'm trying to read the back. I don't want to know anything. Then another library book is Garlic and the Vampire. This is really cute. I've already started it. I'm about or a little over halfway. And the art style is just so stinking cute. I love the colors that were chosen. It's mostly greens and some like oranges and browns. It's really pretty, so fall. Um, but basically, this witch turned some of her vegetables into live vegetables, and they sell vegetables at a market, and then they see a light on at the abandoned house, and they think it's a vampire, so they um, volunteer Garlic to go check it out. And then I have Dance of Thieves, which is by Mary E. Pearson. All I really know about this series is that it's about thieves, obviously, and that it's a fantasy romance, and I kind of want to keep it at that. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous book, and I feel like everybody loves it. So I can't wait. And the map in the front is so detailed and so pretty. That's crazy. Okay, and next I have Indigo Ridge by Devney Perry. This will be my first Devney Perry book. This is, I believe, a small town suspenseful romance, and there's cops involved, and something happens, and somebody comes to town. I think, and it's a long series, and it's a beloved series, and I can't wait to dive in. And this font is huge. I'll probably end up reading this on my Kindle, but if I decide to do both, this font is perfect. And then I have my very, very damaged copy of The Lightning Thief. Look at that. That's, yeah, just awful. But I've had this book since childhood, so. And honestly, I said my one middle grade. This is classified as middle grade. I'm like 95% sure. At least this first one. It's a good time. I've only read the the first book or the first two books. I can't remember if I ever got to Sea of Monsters, but I don't remember the actual books themselves. I remember the Logan Lerman movie, which was a time. Same thing as Twice in a Blue Moon. This isn't fall coded. This is Addicted to You by Kristen Becker Ritchie. This is the start to a very long, very beloved, very well known, great series. I have started this book and then I put it down and I forgot to come back to it. I don't know where I am, but I'll start over anyway. But this first book is really not that long. It's under 400 pages and it's so floppy. But this follows Lily and Lo in their addictions and how they enable each other and their love and friendship. And I'm very excited to dive into this. And yeah, it'll be it'll be interesting. I have the second book in the series, so if I don't love it as much as everybody else, I wouldn't have wasted so much money, but I hope I like it because the covers are pretty. I want to be in on everything, and I want to like the books that I buy, and I think that I really could like this. I just hope it's done well. Okay. Next, I have Normal People by Sally Rooney, and any book that I've ever said has been on my TBR for a long time. I should just be quiet because this one holds that title. I want to read this. I want to read this. I think I am so scared that I'm not going to like it. That's my problem. I have so many books that I want to read that I'm scared of. I've said that already. I don't know why I'm repeating myself. But this is about Connell and Marianne, and I know we follow them while they're in school, but then also years later while they're out of school. And anytime I think of school, I think fall. And so that's kind of why I wanted to put this on here. Next, I have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone years ago. I need to get to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I'm buying all of these secondhand because I don't love J.K. Rowling and I don't really want to give her attention. But I've never read Harry Potter before. So I'm excited to see what changes and what liberties they took while making the movies because I've heard and I've already seen with even the first book that so many things are different in the books and I want to know. I love the movies so much. And if I can love the books as well, that's going to be amazing. Next, I have The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I've never read a Riley Sager. I would like to start here. I don't really know anything about it except what the first sentence says, which is that they play Two Truths and a Lie at camp. And then I have Mistborn, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. All of my in real life friends love Brandon Sanderson. All of the people I like online love Brandon Sanderson. So, and I've read Trust of the Emerald Sea, but I've heard that that's pretty different from his other stuff. So we'll see how this compares. And then I have the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Marianne Shaver and Annie Barrows. This is a historical fiction and it is an epistolary novel. So it's just letters back and forth between people. I watched the movie years ago because I had a very real obsession with what's her name? Lily? No, Lily something. I had a real obsession with somebody, and I wanted to watch all of her movies, and she's in this movie. But it's set during World War II, and it was a very beautiful movie. So again, excited to compare how different it is. Okay. I have Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This book is a brick. It's huge. It's insane how big this is. But I mean it's 804 pages. I've read books that big. I don't know why this is so intimidating to me. I don't know. Um but this, as far as I know, is a sapphic fantasy with a hint of romance, but it has dragons. So, yeah, that's what I know. I also know that my friends are obsessed and want me to read it. Hence why they bought it for me. And then I have Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This book is going to make me cry, and I love crying from books, but basically, this girl's been through a lot. Archer's been through a lot, so much that he doesn't talk. Um, but he pays attention to her and it's about their story. And I've heard only good things, and I can't wait to cry and love this. And then read everything else that Mia shared. Read everything else that Mia Sheridan has ever written because I feel like as soon as I finish this, I'm going to read everything. I'm going to read her entire backlist. And then I have Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter. I don't really know what this is about. All I know is it's a thriller, and Karen Slaughter is well known. I think she witnesses a murder or something else that's really horrific, and it's her story after that, I think. But I'm excited to go in not knowing very much. And then I have Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I read everything that Elsie has ever put out. I loved the Chestnut Spring series, and I loved the, what is it called? The Gold Rush Ranch series. Loved them both. And I can't wait to read a book about Ford because we saw him a little bit in another one of her books, and he just seemed really interesting. I don't know. I think it's because he's a billionaire, but I also love a good old brother's best friend or best friend's little sister. Love that trope, and that's in here. So, right? Best friend, sister. And single single parent trope where he finds out he has a kid in the book. Either way, I'm so excited. I think this is going to be so good. I love Elsie. And I saw this, like a little note from the author, but basically, she's just hyping us up, her fans, and I love that. I love her. And then I have Not in Love by Julie Soto. I have never read anything by her. She put out, what's it called? Forget Me Not, which I also want to read. This is about a violinist and a cellist, and I used to play the cello. I love the cello, and I haven't seen it portrayed in books very much. If I Stay is the only thing that I can think of, which loved it back then. Um, but yeah, I think they work together, and so it's forced proximity, and I think it's just going to be a good time. Don't know why I want to read it in the fall, but I really do. And then I have The Queen's Gambit by Walter Tevis. I love chess, so does my partner, and so I think this will be really cool for me to read, and then we can watch it together. 243 pages. It's a YA novel about a girl who plays chess, and it's, when is it set? Because I feel like it was a while ago. I don't think it says. Only thing I don't love is, even though it's a short book, that font is just not it. And then I have The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I still haven't read this, and I know I need to. I want to. I'm kind of intimidated by it just because it has so much hype, or at least it did years ago when I bought it. This is the story of Star, who watches her best friend get murdered by a police officer. He's unarmed. And it's just her journey dealing with that, dealing with the aftermath of all of that. And I know this is going to be a very powerful story. And I think if I like this, I would like to continue reading from Angie Thomas. She's put out a few books in the last few years, and they all sound so good. Last book I have out from the library is Saga Volume 11. I absolutely love this series. I don't know why I'm flipping through it. I don't know why. The last time I did that, I got really spoiled and so upset. I love this. I love this series so much. This is a sci-fi fantasy exploration of humanity, friendship, family, love, everything. And so many of my favorite characters started as my least favorite characters. And I want, I, our main characters, it's a young family of people who shouldn't be in love based on society. And I just want all of their pain and suffering to be over because it's been enough. Okay, like enough. It's just gonna rip my heart out again. Next, I have Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. This is a very sad book. This is a they have it classified as YA now, but I've heard that it's more like new adult, even though they are, I think, in high school or in college maybe. But there's a lot of abuse, alcohol, just tragic things that shouldn't happen to anybody. But it's about two people dealing with those things, and they're brought together, and it's just their relationship and friendship, and then their found family that they create. And I I can't wait. It's gonna be. These pages are so thin. And this is a floppy book. Oh my goodness. But it's dual POV too, and I love dual POV. But I've heard only good things. And it's a rugby romance. I love rugby. So next we have Cleat Cute by Meryl Wilsner. I have never read anything by Meryl Wilsner. She only has one other book out, I think. Two other books. This is a sapphic romance about soccer players, and I love soccer. It's my favorite sport, and I just can't wait. I've heard good things, and I love reading about women in soccer, but just soccer in general. I think is so fun to read about. But yeah, soccer just started back up, at least for the Premier League, and it's going to be a good time. Last but not least, I have Pride by Evie Zoboy. This is a Pride and Prejudice retelling. I love Jane Austen. I love Pride and Prejudice. I think this is going to be a good time. Um, it is about somebody who has Very Benitez has pride, Brooklyn pride, family pride, and pride in her Afro-Latino roots. But pride might not be enough to save her rapidly gentrifying neighborhood from becoming unrecognizable. And then at the bottom it says, in this timely update of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, critically acclaimed author Evie Zoboy skillfully balances cultural identity, class, and gentrification against the heady magic of first love in her vibrant reimagining of this beloved classic. It's going to be so good. All right, that is it for my fall TBR. Again, I know it's ambitious. I know I'm not going to get to everything. Don't think I'm going to get to everything. But yes, that is all for my TBR. If you've read any of these books and you want to let me know your thoughts, please leave them down in the comments below. I would love to hear it, would love your feedback. And if you haven't read any of these books but still want to leave a comment, please leave the book emoji. Yeah, that is all. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. That is all. Bye.